such a random live stream, but I thought I would go live just right after the match. Didn't want to do a whole sit down just because it's not a match that I really cared about, but decided to go outside, take one of the dogs out, and just share a little bit of my thoughts. Like I said, not really interested in doing anything. I really did not care about this one at all. Still very disappointed in the performance from some of these players. I think that a lot of them just did not do a great enough job. I think that they just very sloppy in possession. We started off so well. It was very, very frustrating. We started off very well, and it's like the tide turned as soon as that McNair goal was chalked off for offside. The tide completely turned, and everybody just kind of switched off a little bit. It was literally like a switch was flipped, and everybody just stopped trying. I thought that it was just not great. Ahmad did not have a great night. Hojlund is literally our only striker right now, you guys. This is where we're at, and I think that it's a shame because he's just I might have officially crossed over the fence, the line to the Hojlund out situation because he's just not good enough. He should go play hockey or something. He gets caught in these fights, in these wrestling matches, and he lets his anger and his frustration and his stress get the better of him, and and these opposition defenders, they know it. They know that his blood's going to run hot, and he's going to rise to that, and he falls for it every single time, and sorry, just checking. Hi. So it's one thing after another, and I thought Bruno had a quiet night. We were just a little slow, a little sloppy. It started off really, really well. I thought that McGuire, Lindelof, Shaw, all were doing well. The problem is we weren't getting forward enough. We were just using our wingbacks as a back five too often, and that's really the best way we had to get ahead of Chelsea, was to try to utilize the numbers we have in attack, and we just weren't doing it. And we paid for it. And I mean, it's nice to see Chelsea celebrating like they won a cup final, but I mean, it is what it is. You guys, let me know your thoughts though on what you thought about that match. I'm trying to see if I can get this live chat going on here, but I don't see it anywhere here. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see. Hopefully you guys can get involved now. Kai, big up Kai, says, hello everybody, I'm worried for Ugarte. Casemiro is out and we concede. Well, again, it didn't really seem like the goal was to go in there and really push hard. The end, I mean, obviously we had 7 minutes, and it was a combination of Chelsea literally time wasting and us literally giving them every opportunity to waste time because we just kept giving away needless fouls. We are so horrible at managing these late moments in these matches, whether we're up by a goal or whether we're chasing a goal. We're just so bad at it. Like, at what point do footballers learn how to kind of win the ball back and prevent the opposition from killing time in the corner? Like, at what point do you just become better at that? Don't know if it's too windy for you guys, but yeah, so if you're just catching it, I am just chilling out in the yard real quick, doing a quick little live reaction because I'm not gonna go through the whole process of doing the whole thing tomorrow, just because I'm not gonna have a whole lot of time. And like I said, I didn't really care about this one as much, so I thought I would just pop on while I was hanging out with the dogs out here with Bailey today. I don't know if you guys can see her. So we're just hanging out. I don't do man of the matches for these losses, and I'm definitely not gonna do man of the match for that one. But were there any standouts for you tonight? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I thought maybe Lindelof was probably one of our better players on the night. Oddly enough, he's actually looked pretty decent these last couple matches. McGuire didn't look horrible. Nobody looked great. Nobody looked like they were really trying a whole lot. Thought the referee did not do us any favors either. I thought that he literally I thought a lot of the calls were inconsistent. Like, how did Ahmad get a yellow for a dive when George, their striker, did not. There was infinitely more contact on Ahmad's knee than there was against George by Onana. So I don't get that. Why not? If you're gonna call it a dive, then why were we the only ones who got a yellow for that? That kind of stuff was very frustrating. I thought later on too. I thought he was just falling for everything Chelsea were doing. Um, really really annoying. And honestly, like 7 minutes, but I think we were actually playing for like 3 minutes of that, which was super super frustrating, man. What we got going on here? Anthony, big up, Anthony. Good to see you, man. Good to see a new face, guys. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Normally, it's not like this. Normally, I'm up in the library / the studio, normally doing, but it's so nice out. And like I said, I didn't want to sit down and complain about this one for an hour. Plus, I'm prepping for that big Europa League final preview that we're going to be doing on Monday. So, a lot of work going into that one. Really want to make that one a big, involved, fun show. Hopefully going to try to have some trivia, hopefully going to have some fun recaps of that road to the final, but we do run out 1-0 losers at Stamford Bridge in our last away game of the season, in what apparently was Chelsea's cup final. The way that they were celebrating winning corners and late on was just tin pot as it gets, in my opinion. But Composed View, how's up, man? How's it going? Few things I learned from this game are: we are without a striker that can't do simple things well. We don't have players that are composed and strong on the ball, except Ahmad and Bruno. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Let me go inside. It's getting a little loud. Let's go inside, baby girl. We're going to go in right now because that wind is getting loud. Maybe if I come sit over here by the house, it won't be as bad. What if we do this? Ugh. You can stay out there. You're fine. Composed View again. Casemiro is our best center midfield. We need wingbacks that can attack and perform. And lastly, the team is bereft of confidence. Do you think we were bereft of confidence, or do you think we were just kind of like not going hard? We kind of saw the same thing against West Ham. We just weren't really going too hard, right? It just seemed like even like there were times when Ahmad got the ball in advanced positions, and probably kind of like what I've seen from Anthony over and over again, where he'd get the ball opposition half on the wing and he wouldn't take anybody on. He would just stop and pass it back to Bruno. We had a couple chances early on in the game to, again, same as West Ham, chances to put a ball in the box, and everybody who has the ball stops and just forces it to Bruno. And again, I'm like, I don't understand. I just don't get it. I really don't. If somebody has any insight on that, let me know. But it did not make any sense to me. Those little helicopter things. I have a maple tree in my backyard, right? These freaking things are all over the place right now. They're literally everywhere. Bailey, let's go inside. Up. Come on. Bailey. So, I'm going to go inside. But you guys get a little inside scoop on the house. Come on, let's go. What else are you guys saying? You guys surprised at that? Are you gutted at all? Are you fuming at anything? Because I don't feel hardly anything about that result, if I'm honest. Bailey, we're going downstairs. I know, buddy. Cooper's mad because he didn't get to go out. I was surprised. You know what really surprised me is Cheeto not even in the squad today. Did you guys notice that? Not on the bench at all, which was interesting. I haven't read anything. I haven't read any news about Cheeto, if anything is wrong or anything like that. But it's just weird to not even see him in the matchday squad. I don't know what the point of that was. We really kind of effed ourselves not registering him for the Europa League, I think, because with Xerxes gone, Hojlund is our only striker, and Hojlund is just... In Europe, Hojlund's different, the same as United, but again, it's against Premier League opposition, so, I mean, you kind of split the difference there. But I think we can all... honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hojlund sold this summer. I think he's been here longer than Xerxes, and obviously he's been here longer than Cheeto, and we know that Omar doesn't really go past a couple of years. I think he's probably seen enough just in this year alone of Hojlund. Hojlund, unfortunately, I do think some of it does have to do with the fact that he was our starting striker. and our only striker, and he really shouldn't have been, but he's not doing himself any favors. Tonight was another example. Just you could see he's trying. It's just that he just can't. He really just can't. And honestly, for him, it's probably better just to go to a team, to a league that is maybe better suited. You know, if any of these links with any of these other teams, Napoli, Inter, whatever, it might be better for him in his career just to go get that done. Composed View says the team has no confidence, especially when we take a hit. We have a couple of players that are confident. However, the team don't even trust each other. Hojlund is really bad. Need a formidable striker. Yeah, I mean, what you said there, you know, the team has no confidence, especially when we take a hit. I mean, that's what we've spoken about on this channel, like over and over again, is this lack of resilience. There's no resilience, and that's what resilience is. How do you respond to adversity? How do you respond to these setbacks? How do you respond when you concede a goal, when things aren't working, when you make a mistake, even an injury or whatever? It's how you respond to that, and we don't have that in this squad. We've seen it for years. You know, we concede a goal, heads drop. Look at tonight. We were on the ascendancy for the first several minutes, controlling the ball, working into advanced positions. We get a goal chalked off for offside, and then it's just that woke Chelsea up, and we kind of just stayed where we were a little bit, and and that's why we need leaders on the pitch. That's why we need players with a better mentality. Composed View says, to be honest, I wouldn't bring Cheeto in this team once he makes a mistake. The fans and pressure might weigh heavy on him, so it's a risk not worth taking, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that every time I see fans clamoring for Liam Delap, clamoring for young players, that's exactly what goes through my mind. Like, everyone's gonna do the same thing because these fans do it all the time. I think fans, especially United fans now, with where we are in this kind of cycle in the last 12 years or so since Sir Alex retired, I think we are just now the impatience started with it. Like, it's like we've been filling a glass with just droplets of impatience and frustration, and it's full now, and it's overflowing, and it's reached a breaking point. I think patience is at an all-time low. Frustration and knee-jerk reactions are an all-time high. I don't think social media has helped because it's been worse and worse and worse. But I mean, you're right. I mean, it's that we say we want to save these kids and protect them from struggles. You might have a point. Maybe we need to protect them from the fan base at some point. And Amram's kind of said that himself, Composed View. Like, he doesn't want to bring some of these youngsters into this situation. Maybe that's why we haven't seen as many of them get minutes as some of us would have liked. But it's hard to do worse. I mean, I wouldn't blame any of the youngsters for underperforming in this situation, because how could I when the first teamers are struggling? This is why, like, you saw, I posted like the fact that Harry Amos won the Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year. I haven't done anything with the Sir Matt Busby one because I don't care, because none of these first team players deserve any awards because you haven't done anything. Awards go to winners. They go to people who perform, who deserve them to be recognized. What is there to be recognized for this season other than shit? That's a disgrace to Sir Matt. That's a disgrace to everybody who wears his badge. It's a disgrace to everyone who's come before him. It's a disgrace to every single fan, the way they've been playing. And today is just another example of that. I wasn't expecting a win. I didn't want to go hard. I didn't want to risk any injuries. But at the same time, when the players on the pitch were not performing. Like, if you're on the pitch, perform. I don't care who you are. If you're gonna play, you have to play your best. And they just weren't. As I was saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hojlund sold. Xerxes might kind of be used as interchange. I honestly, and I was thinking about this earlier, you guys let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that there's a chance that, since we're being linked to a lot of these playmakers and stuff, like, what is Cunha's role going to be in this side? He's versatile. He can play as one of those 10s. He can play on the left. He can also play as a striker. He's played as a striker at Wolves. That was his position at Atletico before he came to the Premier League, was more of a striker, rotation option. And similar, like Mbuemo, can play as a 10, can play as a wing back. I wouldn't begrudge Amram for looking at players who are a little versatile. But what are your priorities then after something like today? Because you're saying like we don't have players who are creative, we don't have players who are confident. We need a formidable striker. Who would you pick as your striker, Comfo's view? Because I I'm struggling right now. What are you saying here? He says, look at how Garnacho was treated, and I don't think he's a brilliant player. However, there's no support for him from the fans. This is a guy who's been fast tracked. He's not Yamin Lamal, but common. Yeah, I mean, he came in under Ten Hag, right? And this is literally his third season playing in the first team, Garnacho, which is like why I've said several times it's why I'm a little harder on him than someone like Hojlund because Garnacho's been here a little longer. Yes, he's young, but he's been playing in this league for a long time. That's why I go harder on him than I go harder on like Menu. Menu's literally been playing just like maybe a year and a half because remember Manu started, he was injured until about November last season. And so he didn't really start playing until then. And so I give Manu a little bit of leeway. But even tonight, Manu wasn't good when he came on. It was sloppy touch. And again, it's how many times have we seen this? Is the press kills us. And it's going to be the same against Spurs. Spurs press high up the pitch. That is the go-to tactic in the Premier League this season from the Bournemouths, the Forest, the Liverpool, the Newcastles, the Spurs, the Chelseas, everybody. They're pressing high. They're trying to win the ball high up the pitch, and they're getting quick transitions. This is why this season, what you've seen is physical, fast, the players with stamina. Those sides are the ones that are like, that's why these sides are where they are in the table right now. It's just one of those weird seasons where that is the thing that's getting the job done. And not only do we not have players this season, we haven't had players who can hang physically like that for years. Ollie complained about it. Jose complained about it. Ten Hag complained about it. Amorim's complained about it. These players just, they're good technically. They're not good physically. And right now, it's just, you have to be good physically. You can't just, it's not enough. It's kind of like what we've said about positions on the pitch, especially like in this midfield pivot. It's not enough to just be like, I'm a 6 or I'm an 8. You have to be able to do both. Right now in this modern game in the Premier League, you have to be able to be technical and be physical. You just have to be. There's no excuse. You won't survive. And I think that until Amorim can get more of those kind of players, and really we've needed those kind of players for years. It's not just an Amorim thing. This is what I said the other day. When you get players who can do that, they'll suit any system, any manager. It won't matter. If you've got players who are strong here, and strong physically, and they're also are technical, they'll be fine. It doesn't matter. But far too often we've been looking at very specific players for very specific systems, and that's why things aren't translating. And we've looked at a lot of very technical players. Garnacho, technically skilled, not very strong. Menu, small guy. He's a little bigger now. He looks bigger, but still very technical, not very strong. Ahmad, stronger than he looks, but still very technical. I'm not saying any of these players are bad, by the way. I'm just pointing out the similarities here, if that makes sense. Composed View says, I'd go for Gonçalo Ramos. I think he needs to be made the main guy. Take him from PSG, make him the main guy. His fundamental. I loved Gonçalo Ramos when he was at Benfica. The problem was that he came to a PSG side who didn't they also get Kolo Muani that same exact summer? They still had Mbappe there. I think they still have like that was back when PSG were just that squad was just bloated and nobody was getting any minutes. Remember, Ekitike went to PSG from Reims, and that's like, and it was too soon to move. But you went into a very bloated squad. You went into a very dysfunctional PSG side. That was this year they've really gotten their shit together, PSG. But for the longest time, it was kind of like Barcelona. They were just they went kind of rogue in terms of recruitment and whatnot. But I think they've got it under control with Luis Enrique. It'll be an interesting final for sure. Interesting for the neutral. But I did like Gonçalo Ramos. Whether that's just a confidence thing for him, maybe it was just too much rotation, not being the main guy. Maybe that killed him. I don't know. He's still pretty young, too. What is he, like 23, 24 now, Gonçalo Ramos? I don't know off the top of my head. Composed View says the whole Mbappe and all that mess hindered his development. Yeah, Mbappe, that was a complete shit show. But that's how that's when you guys have heard me say this so many times. I kind of said it about like Memphis in some extent, or even like Donny van de Beek is another really good example. Just wrong manager, wrong club, wrong time. It just had Donny van de Beek maybe been bought under Ten Hag and not under Ollie, he might still be here. He might be thriving, but Ollie was not the manager for Donny van de Beek. He does not play a counterattacking style. Gonçalo Ramos comes in to a PSG that are bloated. They've got all these players. They've got all these stars that are obviously going to get minutes and whatnot. Was Neymar still there when Gonçalo Ramos showed up too? I always forget about Gonçalo Ramos because he barely played for a while, but yeah, I really liked him when he was at Benfica. I thought he was very, very good. It's just a shame. Does he have that same profile that would suit this system, do you think, composed view? Let me know what you think. Getting back to the match, you guys let me know if anybody jumped out at you as having a decent match. Like I said, I think Lindelof was probably maybe Casemiro. Probably our better players on the night. I thought Dorgu had a good match. He kind of grew into the match a little bit. Dorgu clearly has the physicality, and I think that you're seeing the kind of players in Dorgu. I think Dorgu is a good example of what Ineos, Wilcox, Barada, and even to an extent Amram, because Amram had to kind of reprove that, even though we were linked with Dorgu a long time ago. That is the kind of player you're going to be seeing. Someone who's maybe a little younger, but who has this mentality, who has a physicality, and clearly does have skill, but maybe there's a little bit of polishing. Maybe that's why the rumors to Liam Delap are so strong. Maybe in Liam Delap, we see someone who, yes, they're young, they're a little raw, they're not like world class by any stretch, but maybe there's something there that can be molded and coached, and maybe we could get this player right on the cusp of just a step forward in his development as a striker. 30 million is a snip for someone who's like basically Hojlund, but just like better suited to this league. I think if we had gotten Delap instead of Hojlund, we'd be having a different conversation. But maybe we could just call this video Sean officially is like Hojlund out, is because I just can't anymore with him. I've defended Hojlund. I've defended you to the hilt, like for the last 2 seasons, and everybody called me crazy. Everybody, like, I think I have made a decent kind of case for Hojlund, but at the same time, he doesn't help me. I'm sitting here fighting for him, and every week I'm like, come on, man, I stuck my neck out for you, and every week it's the same shit. So officially call me Hojlund out, because the guy is he just needs to go. He just needs to get out and go do his thing in another league. I'm not saying it's United. I think it's just he just doesn't he can't. I just don't have words anymore. But what that means is, like, we already needed a striker even if we kept Hojlund, because Cheeto's not. We can't look to Cheeto. But if we sell Hojlund, we've got to literally replace him, and you can maybe break even with like Liam Delap if we sell Hojlund. I mean, maybe that's a break even kind of thing. I think we probably are looking to make up for some of, like, I don't think you're going to see us maybe get a striker that's like a 30, 35 goal a season striker. I think we're going to be trying to make up for it in an aggregate by spreading those goals around. Bruno already pitches in. Garnacho's having a good season. I think Cunha, if and when he comes, will pitch in. I think it's going to be spread around, kind of like just how good teams do, where if one player is your only outlet and that player is injured or doesn't have a good game, like, where the goal is going to come from. We're trying to avoid that. We've said, how many times we've said that about Bruno? Bruno doesn't have a good game. We don't have a good game. I mean, Harry Maguire is like our best striker at the moment. I mean, fucking hell. Oh, geez. Composed View says, I'd give the PSS 30-40 for him and build the team around him. Oh, PSG. 30-40 for him. Build the team around him with Cunha, Ahmad, get Yeoman and Ignacio from Sporting. Get proper wingbacks and a damn good keeper, and we'll be good. Do you not think that Ahmad is a good wingback? I think so obviously tonight Ahmad played in the 10, and I thought he struggled. I thought he was just having a rough time. Maybe he's still fresh from injury. I don't know, but I thought he definitely struggled. He looked a little better late on in the match, but Ahmad, he likes to have room to run and work, not in the same way that Rashford or like a Dan James does. He likes to have some space. Because he's got the skill, he's able to get the ball in the box, and I don't think Ahmad minds if he's in the final phase of attack and he's got a couple opponents on him. I think he likes being able to take the ball, face inward, and have some room to work with. But when you've got him in these interior channels, he's isolated, he's backs to goal a lot. I don't think you're going to see the best version of Ahmad in that 10. So I hope that Amram has learned from some of that. I hope by now he and Ineos have learned what players he could trust, what players need to go. If you guys are just joining, I have officially jumped on the Hojlund out bandwagon because I can't be bothered with Hojlund anymore. The guy's just not good. Let's see what else happens tonight. Ugarte came on and basically just kind of threw his weight around for a little bit. Garnacho came on, I thought Garnacho looked good. This is a question mark for the final, and this is where you get into the tough decisions for team selection. You've got someone like Garnacho who has shown that he could come on and his energy and his pace can do something against tired defenders, but I don't like having to chase a game and do that. It's nice to have that, but I'd like to start strong. Does Ahmad start for you in the final? It's something to think about because, like I said, we are going to be doing the video of the preview on Monday. So be prepared to come with your starting 11s, your score predictions, and be prepared to get involved in that show. It's going to be a fun show. What are you saying here, Composed View? Ahmad only struggles because the striker makes it difficult for him. The striker is not good enough to attract attention. So when he has the ball, the whole defense know he's the linchpin. Yeah, it's like Ahmad was a little isolated. He would get the ball, and there's no one around him. And so he's just constantly having to pass back to Mazraoui or our center backs. And we've seen that like time and time again this season from everyone who plays in the 10. That's happened many times. I saw it when I was there for the Southampton match. Our 10s are constantly kind of having to drop deep to receive the ball, and it takes them out of the game. And when you don't have a striker who's good enough or who's just developed enough, it's just that they've already taken themselves out of the game because of the fact that they're just not there yet. And so tonight was just kind of like West Ham, just another example of the worst parts of some of these players front and center. And it is what it is. Again, we've seen that we struggle against the high press. Chelsea pressed us all the time, and they were winning the ball. They were forcing sloppy passes from us. Again, falling asleep, switching off defensively. That goal was just people standing off, people ball watching, nobody alert to that back post. Mazraoui getting wrong side of his defender. Lindelof, again, not good in the air. We've seen that time and time again. I can't go too hard on someone for not, like, it's the same like I can't go too hard on Maguire for being slow. It's not his fault he's slow. It's not Lindelof's fault that he can't jump. Maybe he could get better at it, but it's like I can't out-jump people that maybe are shorter than me because they're just better at it than I am sometimes. That's just part of it. But you have to be able to make up for it in other areas. And so the goal was garbage. I don't blame Onana for the goal. You obviously, as a keeper, more often than not, you're going to get blamed because you are the last line of defense, and it's the nature of the job. If a striker makes a mistake, everybody behind him has the opportunity to rectify that. If a keeper makes a mistake, it usually means a goal. Now, Onana didn't make a mistake. I'm just pointing out just the nature of being a keeper. It's not fun, but doesn't mean I'd keep Onana. I'd definitely sell Onana because there's not much I think he does that's good. What are we saying here? Composed View getting super involved. I love it, man. And we have no good wingbacks to over underlay when Ahmad has the ball. If he had good players behind him in front as wingbacks and striker, he'd excel in the 10. I blame Amram a little bit for that, though, because like I've said, and tonight was another example, he plays these wingbacks as like just basically center backs. It's basically a back five when the wingbacks are really supposed to be more attacking than anything. And it's cost us again. If we had just taken advantage of that, if we had showed a little bit more daring and gotten our wingbacks further forward, I think we could have gotten something, because I think Ahmad was showing that he could get the ball, he could hold the ball, but when there's no one there, he can only hold on to it for so long. He's getting hounded out time and time again, and the ref didn't help. The ref was just like just constantly falling for everything Chelsea were doing. Usman, big up, man. Hope you're doing well, my guy. The qualities. Honestly, dude, I think it's a YouTube thing today. I was having some trouble uploading some shorts earlier. Some of them, I took a short at halftime, for instance, to do a halftime reaction, and it didn't load. And then I thought maybe it was my internet, maybe it was my phone, because I've never had issues. But then I look up online, like, is YouTube server, or the YouTube servers having issues? And the YouTube servers are having some problems today with, I think that's been an issue. So if it's poor quality, I do apologize. I am kind of at home, so using the internet should be fine. But if it's blurry, I apologize. It's definitely I think it's more YouTube than me, though. But big up for stopping by, Usman. Good to see you, man. Yeah, so I do think Amarim has not helped himself when it comes to just how defensive we're setting up. I think if you look, Mizraoui and Dorgu were far back. Usually when one is getting forward, the other one is sticking back, and that's kind of what Amarim's system does. But and I like Dorgu getting forward because he's looked very good. It's been a breath of fresh air, but the way that Amarim has set us up, we've seen it many, many times. It's more of a back five than anything. And now people go in on the 3-5-2 or the 3-4-3, and they call it like a back five, and they say it's defensive, but I've argued for years that it isn't. Your wingbacks are more winger than back. It's the midfield that helps out with the defenders, but it's just not been like that. We have too many defenders in this team. Like you're saying, Composed View, we don't have enough attackers. Composed View says, Sean, we have nobody to play as wingbacks, attacking wingbacks. Amarim has a lot of work though, because this will not be tolerated by the fans. Well, and the question is, where does Amarim see Ahmad? Because he's been played as a wingback. He's also been, like tonight, played as a 10, and that was why, you guys remember, I was like so curious. We were linked to guys like Giovanni Quenda, Roger Fernandez, Wesley Franca at Flamengo. Like, are we looking for wingbacks? Does he see Ahmad as a 10? We have, if you look on paper, we have a lot of these attackers that can play in that 10 role, whether it's Garnacho, Xerxes, Mount, Bruno plays there, Manu can play there. I think we need someone who's a little bit more creative, but again, it's all down to what Amarim is looking at in these players. Where does he see them playing? Honestly, I could flip a coin right now on whether Amarim sees Ahmad as a 10 or as a wingback. You guys let me know what you think Ahmad's better position is, because tonight did not look good. But then he's also had games as a 10 where he's done well. I did that video a while back. If you guys remember, it might be in the description. Like, is Ahmad better as a 10 or as a wingback? So I kind of broke it down in there match by match and stuff. So you can go check that one out as well. Kai, big up, man. The problem is that the only player that is up there with Ahmad is Rasmus. The other players are defending and too slow. Yeah. So Mount, you could tell Mount was just the whole Chelsea history. Everybody was booing whenever he touched the ball. He was kind of getting a little too heated, and I think Chelsea were doing a good job at winding us up, whether it was Mount or Hojlund. Everybody was getting wound up. They were going in on Ugarte, and I think this is what I like about Ugarte. He's on the bench. He sees all Chelsea's bullshit and their antics and the fact that the ref has fallen for like all of it. He comes on, and one of the first things he does, he's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna let them know right now that this shit's not gonna happen. I'm not that guy to fuck with." And that's, if you ever watch me play indoor, that's basically what I'll come on and throw some weight around, because just to let people know, like, no, we're not doing that today. I don't care. I'll go in a box because that's what happens in indoor. You go in a box like hockey for a couple minutes if you get too bad a foul. But I don't mind leaving some on somebody to let them know, like, no, that you're not going to get away with it today. So I don't have a problem with that with Ugarte, but he's also in this system got to do more. And we've seen him do more, but obviously tonight I think it was about saving legs. It'll be very interesting to see the starting 11 on Wednesday. It's anyone's guess right now. Like I said, a lot of people, like Rasmus played the entire match. We don't have any other strikers. Does that mean that Amarim thinks he'll be fine to start again? Would we not play with a striker, or maybe an actual recognized number 9? Maybe someone like Garnacho goes up front. Maybe Bruno goes up front. It's interesting. Who else got a lot of minutes? Bruno went off with like 10, 15 minutes left to go. Same with Casemiro as well. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be, yeah, I keep saying that, but it's just, I'm constantly going like all these iterations of starting 11s for Wednesday based on what we saw tonight, based on what we saw West Ham, trying to consider injuries, all that stuff, match fitness. Collier's obviously back fit, basically. Heaven obviously got minutes tonight, looked pretty decent. So it seems like he could be an option as well. It's kind of like when I went back and forth with the midfielder I was going to sign for my summer rebuild. You guys remember it was like Hackney and Yashari, and I changed it like 4 times. I might end up changing my start 11, but we're going to have a couple people with starting 11s, like I said, for that. So we'll see. But we lose 1-0. Chelsea's just celebrating like they've won a cup. They've got a cup, obviously, again with the Conference League. This was big for them, though, in terms of trying to qualify for Europe in the table because I didn't check the table ahead of time. They were fifth going into this. Aston Villa obviously won tonight. They beat Spurs 2-0. So we will see what that looks like when things shake down. I mean, like I said, I really did not care. That's why I'm doing this right now. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to it's 20% off in the United vs. Everybody store right now. So everything is 20% off for the next few days. You can get awesome shirts, hoodies, t-shirts, women's stuff. There's even some kids stuff. So go check that out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, apologies if the quality's low. It's definitely not on my end. I think I looked, if you go to like isitdownrightnow.com or something, YouTube servers are just not great. But please hit that like button for me. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Again, a little different than we normally do, but I didn't care enough about this one. And it's not that I don't care about you guys. I wanted to make sure I did something, but I just don't care enough about this match to do a full thing. And I don't have time tomorrow, quite frankly, to do it. So, but be sure to come back Monday. Monday is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to Monday, you guys. Monday afternoon, probably like 4:30 my time. So I don't know what that is for you, but keep a lookout. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that. But hopefully have some guests. We'll be doing a fun preview for the final. We're going all out, all guns blazing, trying to get some trivia together, trying to do a recap of this Europa League, this road to the final, looking at big moments. I want to hear everyone's favorite goals, favorite moments, things like that for that one. So be prepared to get involved. I'd really love to get everybody in there. But I think I'm going to wrap it up because this is just about all the energy I have for this one, honestly. I really only like half watched it while I was working on other stuff because I just couldn't be bothered. But thank you guys for stopping by. Compose View, Kai, Usman, getting involved. Who else did we have up here earlier? Somebody else, somebody new. Anthony, big up Anthony. If you weren't able to catch the live, please leave a comment. You guys know I'll check those. We'll do one more comment here. Chelsea's celebration was immature and short-sighted because they are guaranteed a Champions League spot due to the points. Man City's game in hand and the winner of Europa, it's cringe. Yeah, it's all a bit cringe this year for a lot of reasons. I mean, honestly, you'll go on Sky. I mean, we've been the only thing Sky have been talking about. Like nobody, like this, literally, like nobody cares that Liverpool won the league. We're just like everyone still wants to talk about us. So. But until next time, you guys, I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. I mean, try not to let it bother you too much. I don't know how much you cared, but I definitely didn't care a whole lot. But I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy. I'll talk to you later. Bye.